Hello Africa, I'm Jani Bester and today I'm privileged enough to be here with Heidi Hewett from Autodesk and also the face behind the AutoCAD Insider blog. Heidi, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So Heidi, tell us a little bit more about what your role at Autodesk entails.
Well, I'm the AutoCAD Technical Marketing Manager, and I kind of like to describe it as a learner and a trainer. So I spend part of my year learning AutoCAD, learning what's coming in the new release of AutoCAD, and then the other part of my year training it to internal employees and partners and customers as well, and writing about it in my blog.
Okay. And Heidi, from what I've read, is that you've been a AutoCAD customer before you became a Autodesk employee. What was the first version of AutoCAD you ever used?
When I was in college, I started with AutoCAD 2.6, so that was quite a long time ago.
Okay. And you've worked on all the releases ever since, I'd imagine.
I have. I actually started at Autodesk in 1992, and that's when release 11 was the current release.
Okay. So, according to Fortune Top 100 companies to work for, Autodesk is one of the companies rated as the best company to work for. What do you like about working for Autodesk?
It's funny, I can't even say everything that I think is great about being at Autodesk. I've been there so long, and I still remember the first few years when I worked there. I'd walk down the halls. This was at our headquarters in Northern California. I'd walk down the halls even after a few years and just think, wow, I'm here. I can't believe I actually work here. And I still, 20 years later, think that. The people are amazing, just so many intelligent, motivated people with technology that is just cutting edge. I mean, we're at the front of everything that's going on in technology, and it's exciting to be part of that.
Okay, great. And then, obviously, being from California and from the US, this is your first time to South Africa. What was your expectations prior to visiting?
I
Of
thought there'd be
Africa?
lions walking down the streets, but I can't say. I thought it was going to be hot. My mom asked me, what the weather would be like, and my quick answer was, "Oh, it's going to be hot." And then I landed here, and it was cold, so that was a bit of a surprise.
For AutoCAD look like?
The future for AutoCAD looks very bright, just as it has for the past 30 years. We continue adding new features, but there's no end to what we can do with AutoCAD because technology keeps changing. Over the past few years, we've seen a lot of growth in 3D scanning, for example, point clouds, 3D printing. There's just a huge future ahead with the capabilities, both with the hardware that we have and the software that we can create. So I think we don't even know what is capable for AutoCAD in the coming years. And because it is such a popular product around the world and across industries, there are so many uses for it. So it's just endless, really.
Okay. Being the AutoCAD Technical Marketing Manager, what is the most unique or strangest thing that you've ever seen AutoCAD being used for?
Well, the most unique or surprising, I guess, is I heard one of our customers, and I think an AutoCAD evangelist, uses AutoCAD for everything and even used it to design his wedding invitations. So I completely understand that. The funny thing is that I wasn't even surprised. I thought, oh yeah, of course.
Of course you can do that.
Of course you would do that. Probably the strangest thing I did was not too creative, but when my kids were younger, they ran out of graph paper. So I just went into AutoCAD and drew up some graph paper. Easy enough.
We've recently seen the launch of the Design Suite. How did the AutoCAD Design Suite come about, and what is the thinking behind that?
It helps expand AutoCAD. AutoCAD by itself is wonderful, just AutoCAD alone. It can be expanded so much because of our partners and add-on applications that you can purchase. But beyond that, there are so many different directions that people can take their AutoCAD drawings, either their 2D drawings or models. And with the AutoCAD Design Extension, there are different applications depending which AutoCAD Design Suite that you purchase. If you get the suite that has raster design, all of them have raster design, you can do something like start with raster images and bring those into AutoCAD and even convert those raster geometry into AutoCAD vector objects, which can then be edited. So it really lets you take it to a whole nother level from there. Or if you're working in 2D, you've got 2D designs in AutoCAD, you might want to stylize them or do some presentations with those 3D, converting those to 3D models. You can do that with Showcase or even take it even further with 3ds Max Design. So it really just depends which direction you want to take your designs, but AutoCAD is kind of the foundation for any of those directions.
Okay, so it really does sound like the suite is a comprehensive package that allows you to take your design through the entire workflow. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's a great way to describe it.
Okay. And then what kind of role does the new cloud developments from Autodesk play in such a workflow?
That's a great question. So again, it really depends on which direction, what type of tools you need, if you're doing analysis or renderings. The real power of these cloud offerings that we have is that you don't have to have it right there on your desktop within the software that you may not use frequently or don't have the hardware to support. With the cloud offerings, you can still take advantage of your AutoCAD models or from AutoCAD verticals, and then use these cloud offerings to send it out to the cloud, do analysis on it, renderings using the hardware and the capabilities that are available out there in the cloud, and even the storage capability out there.
I would imagine that it's definitely quite a time saving then if you get to use the powerful cloud capabilities and not rely on your machine.
That is, your machine, you can continue working while the cloud is out there taking care of it, making the magic happen.
Okay. And then there's also AutoCAD 360. What is the difference between Autodesk 360 and AutoCAD 360?
Autodesk 360 is sort of an all-encompassing term for these cloud services that we have, including AutoCAD 360, which is where you can store your AutoCAD drawings up on the cloud, and also use the AutoCAD 360 tools so that if you have a drawing stored up on the cloud, you can use it on your desktop, your AutoCAD version on your desktop, or on the internet, the web-based application for AutoCAD 360, or even on your mobile device, on your phone or your iPad, for example.
Heidi, Africa is a continent that's facing a lot of challenges with regards to infrastructure and also has a lot of opportunities. What kind of role does AutoCAD play in Africa's development?
You know, I think AutoCAD and Autodesk play a key role in Africa's development. Autodesk's portfolio of products is huge, and it goes across many different industries, infrastructure, but it's not just about, roads and bridges, designing those. Whenever you're doing infrastructure, it involves a lot more buildings and redesign of just about anything, manufacturing. There's so many things involved in that, and Autodesk has a portfolio of products that covers all those industries, and AutoCAD is really at the base and the foundation of all those products. So AutoCAD is you can kind of think of it down there at the bottom, sort of holding up all these products and these industries for that infrastructure development.
Okay. And then Africa also, I think there's a common misperception that a lot of users within Africa feel that some of these software might be unaffordable. However, what some of the users aren't familiar with is that the US-based pricing isn't the same pricing that we have in Africa. Africa does, in fact, because it falls under emerging markets, have special pricing. And this is one of the reasons why we find piracy being an issue in some of the regions. What other benefits are there to have legal software? And what does subscription really mean?
Subscription is a great solution to become legal with our software, and there's so many benefits to subscription. There's network licensing, so you can share or license. You don't maybe have to have 10 licenses if you only have maybe you have 10 users that don't use it all the time. Maybe only 7 of the users at any one time would be using them. So you could purchase 7 licenses that float across multiple users. You can also share licenses, take them on the road. If you're traveling to another location, you can check out that license for up to 90 days and use it in another location. You can also use versions of AutoCAD up to 3 versions back. So if you're working with other consultants or clients that have an older version of AutoCAD, even though you're on the current version with your subscription, you can use older versions and share drawings with those. So there are many benefits, and you also have access to the cloud services through subscription.
Okay. And then part of subscription also then entails that if you are on current technology and you pay subscription, does that mean you'll get the latest release when they come around?
It does. That's exactly what you get. So you have the ability to download and access that latest release as soon as it's available.
Heidi, with Autodesk constantly developing new applications and the large software portfolio, what role does AutoCAD still play in an integrated building information modeling workflow?
AutoCAD still plays a key role in documentation. So what we are finding is our users, they will use Revit for their great 3D models, doing some very detailed 3D modeling designs. But when it comes down to documenting, for example, maybe the walls and the roof together, they want to go into great detail on documenting exactly how that is built. So what they'll do is take their 3D Revit model, output maybe a simple section of that roof and wall, and then take it into AutoCAD as 2D and document it out in great detail. So there's a key workflow there that we see with AutoCAD that we don't see necessarily being replaced. And one of the great benefits of that is that you can have people that are very skilled with Revit doing modeling, they're designers, but you can also have people that are more like drafters that know AutoCAD well, may not know Revit at all, but they know AutoCAD and they know the drafting techniques for those type of details. So you don't need to be using those people on a license of Revit.
Heidi, what would you recommend for example, AutoCAD LT user looking to move towards a more vertical solution like Revit or Inventor?
You know, I'm a great person to ask that question because I have been an AutoCAD and AutoCAD LT user for many years and really was kind of terrified of Revit. When I first tried Revit about 8 or so years ago, it was so different from AutoCAD and AutoCAD LT that it just seemed like a huge leap to me to be able to try and use it. I saw the power of it, but it was very different from what I was used to. Now, AutoCAD LT and Revit, the Revit interface, have come so much closer together. And just last year, I actually took a Revit training class and was amazed at how easy it was for me to adjust, given my AutoCAD LT experience. The interface, many of the tools are similar, and just the concept was close enough where I could take what I knew from AutoCAD LT and go in, start using some of the tools, and with architectural and design background, Revit is actually very much an intuitive solution because you're drawing the way that you'd think, you're modeling the way that you think with doors, walls, windows, as opposed to what we've been used to in AutoCAD LT with lines, circles, and arcs. So it's a much easier transition than I think a lot of people realize. It was surprising to me. After about half a day into my 3-day training class, I was just overwhelmed and excited with Revit.
Heidi, how can AutoCAD verticals ease the process of moving to building information modeling?
The verticals are actually a great solution for transitioning from AutoCAD to BIM. Because they're based on AutoCAD. I mean, AutoCAD is completely the foundation. They're built on AutoCAD with industry-specific tools for building or manufacturing or whatever the industry is. So it really gives AutoCAD users the ability to start transitioning to a workflow that is more the way that they think, the way that they design, using walls, for example. So it's a great transition, and then as you go from there into a BIM workflow with Revit, for example, the transition is just that much easier because you're already used to working with things like schedules and walls and those types of objects.
Heidi, how does Autodesk technology enhance creativity and innovation? And also, how important is it to educate kids on the type of technology and possibilities that Autodesk has?
Those are great questions, and they really do go together. Autodesk has so many different applications, so much technology that goes across industries and across things that start like basically simple games, design tools that kids can use that start learning and becoming comfortable with technology, leading all the way up to top applications that are used by game developers, designers of everything you can imagine, and industry experts, just across all development and engineering type disciplines. So they're really key applications for innovating and creativity and for starting children young with that.
Okay. And then as the AutoCAD insider and also technical marketing manager, I have to ask you, what is your best kept AutoCAD secret?
Oh, well, my probably best kept secret and one of my favorite features in AutoCAD is actually sheet sets. They were introduced in AutoCAD 2005, and I think they're way underused. They can be very complicated. There's so much that you can do with sheet sets, but they can also be very simple. If users just use them, the most basic part of them, it will take them literally a few seconds, not more than a minute to use the most basic part of them, and it will save them lots of time on their projects. And to get people started, I actually have a document that's posted on my blogs that you mentioned, AutoCAD Insider, my blog. It's called Sheets Happen, because we know sheets do happen. You need to create those sheets. And this document will step you through from the very beginning through the whole process of sheet sets. It's a 50-page document, but don't let that scare you. Even if you just read the first couple pages and take advantage of that first little part of sheet sets, it will definitely start improving your productivity. And you can just stop there if you don't want to go further.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm sure all our community users will go and have a look at that.
Oh, I will be thrilled if they do.
Now, Heidi, the reason why we're privileged enough to have you here in South Africa is because you are also presenting at Autodesk University Extension Johannesburg. Tell us a little bit more about Autodesk University and how did it come about?
Oh, I'm excited to talk about Autodesk University. It actually started in 1993, and I'm happy to say I was there for that first one in 93. And it came about as an opportunity for us to teach directly to our Autodesk customers. It's not meant as a partner event or internal or sales or anything like that. It's actually meant as a university for our customers to come and network and learn about our products, to get trained on our products. It has evolved over the years to where there are over 9,000 attendees at our main Autodesk University, which is in Las Vegas. And there are 650 classes offered. And we've got customers coming that are architects and designers, animators, across all the industries that we offer software to. And they come there, learn about our software, learn to use our software, get great tips and tricks from our leaders in training and from our employees. Many of our developers and technical people come to those events and teach classes and answer questions and support the events. So it's evolved into a great event, and it is now spread over the past years, spread to other locations around the world, including some of these Autodesk University extensions like we have here in Africa and South Africa.
Yeah. Now, I've luckily been privileged enough to attend Autodesk University in Las Vegas, and I would recommend that any Autodesk user put that on their bucket list. However, if you can't afford or don't necessarily have the time to travel all the way to Las Vegas, we also have an Autodesk University extension that will be happening in Kenya towards the end of October. So what would you tell the East Africans? What can they have to look forward to?
Well, it's a great way to network. You can meet other people in your industries and that use the same software. You can learn how people are taking advantage of the software and maybe using it in ways that you haven't thought of. And just attending the classes and learning from industry experts. Very valuable event.
Okay. Heidi, thank you very much for your time. I definitely look forward to your AutoCAD class that we'll see at AUX Johannesburg, and we appreciate having you here. And I hope you enjoyed the afternoon filled with wild animals, and hopefully you get to see some lions.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it.